Hey guys, okay, now we're going to limits for software B. Once again, I know that I keep repeating myself, but I don't know what video you guys are going to get or land on. So I'm gonna keep on saying the same name, just for you to get a general understanding. It will be software B. This will be the limits video. So software B limits video. Okay. Once again, let me go over the information. So limits on software B, where it says credit limit, that will be pretty self-explanatory. That's the credit limit. If you leave it at zero, it's gonna be considered a post-up account. So you will need to make a deposit on the transactions. We will get to that tab later on. But right now, so credit, it will be a little bit different than a post up. Post up, customers need to pay you up front, and credit is something that you trust the player that he's gonna pay you back if he loses. So if you leave it at zero, and you make a deposit for $1,000, his account is going to be $1,000. If you make a deposit for $1,000 and then you give him a credit for, let's say, 1,000, he logs in. He's going to be able to see 2,000. He's going to be able to see the 1,000 credit and the 1,000 that he deposited. Now, so make sure what kind of player do you have. If it's credit, you put the credit amount. If it's a post up, you just leave the credit at zero and you select the deposit option and make a deposit for the amount of money he gave you or that he's depositing. Temporary credit is just something that we have in case that you want to give them X amount of money for 1 or 2 or 3 days, so that way you don't have to modify the credit amount. So, for example, if his credit for a week is $1,000, and he calls in and says, "Hey, I already spent my $1,000, but I want to get $200 for the next game." Sorry about this. Okay, so for the next game, you're able to put 200, and then I don't know, select 2 day difference on the date of the he called. So, for example, if he's calling on a Monday, you select the day for Wednesday, $200, and then that way you don't have to remember to go back and remove the credit of the 200. The system will do it automatically. Settle figure. The settle figure is something that is between you and the player. If you're a guy that don't collect the money every X amount of days, or you don't care when he's how much he's losing or winning, but you just carry the amount that he's losing, you could put a settle figure of $800. So if his credit is 1,000, and I don't know, for any reason he's only using 100, 200, 300, you can settle figure at 800. As soon as the system will detect that he's at 800, he will let you know, and then you could go ahead and settle with him for that amount. Let's go to straight early limits. Straight early limits. Um, it's it's a limit that you could put on a game before the game starts, of course. So, for example, let's say that um, Lakers are playing tomorrow at 7 Pacific time. You could say, hey, nobody's gonna be able to play more than 500 until 4 hours before the game. So you could go ahead and put that on that. Overnight limits, it specifies that it's from 11 p.m. Central Time to 9 a.m. Central Time. So if you don't want guys to go crazy at night, you could go ahead and put X amount, 500, $150. That's really depends on the agent. Max contest odds. That's the maximum contest odds that you want the guy to see. So, for example, plus 10,000. You don't want nobody to bet you plus 10,000. So all you do is you just go ahead and put it there. Plus 10,000. Nobody's gonna be able to see whatever more than plus 10,000. Minimum deposit odds. That's the minimum that you want the customer to see. So, for example, this will be the other way around. Minus 2,000. So if it's minus 3,000 and you put minus 2,000 here, then the customer will not be able to see the minus 3,000 because you put minus 2,000. So it really depends on what you want the customer to see overall. That's individually odds for that particular player. We also have profiles that do the same thing that I'm mentioning, but for your entire package. And this one is going to overwrite whatever the package is. So, for example, if you tell me I want a profile for everybody under my package of players, we do that. We create a profile for everybody, and then you can come and just highlight that particular player. So you don't have to do that player by player. You could also just do it for everybody, but that will be under a profile. Later on, you're going to be able to see what's profiles and so on and so forth. But yeah, later on you're going to see what I mean by profiles. I don't want to go into that. I'm just going under the limit tab. And then we go to the most important thing. Straight bets, live betting, parlays, teasers, e-bets, horses. So minimum bet, pretty easy to understand. What do you want the player as a minimum bet to do? Right now it's set at 25. Maximum bet, $1,000 or 10,000 or 500. That's your maximum bet per whatever game or whatever sport. We also have something called detail limits. Show you later on, but if you see the tab, it says detail limits. But for now, the maximum bet that you're setting the player, this particular player is at 10,000, and straight bets 2,500. And then you see something on the right side that says factor. That's how many times he's able to bet the maximum bet on a line. So, for example, you said the maximum bet for a wager is $1,000. Okay, perfect. He could go and make a bet on the Lakers for 1,000. If the line moves, he could also do it for 1,000 more. If the line moves, he could also do it for 1,000 more. Okay. Now, if you put factor, that means how many times he's going to be able to do that with the same line. Okay. So, for example, if he puts minus 7 for 1,000, if he has a 1, if the line doesn't move, he's not going to be able to do it more. If it's if the line stays like that, he's not going to be able to do it because it's already 1,000 at minus 7. But sometimes the customer will say, "Hey, I want to bet more if the line moves," and you don't want that. That's the factor. How many times he's going to be able to bet the maximum bet on that game if the line moves. Okay, that's the factor. Okay, and the parlay factor is, for example, he bets 2-team parlay with the Lakers for 1,000, and then he wants the Lakers and something else. Then if he already reached the $1,000 with the Lakers on a parlay, he's not gonna be able to do it more because he has a factor 1. If he has a factor of 2, that means he can do it Lakers for 1,000 and something else, and then Lakers for 1,000 and then something else. That's the factor. How many times he's gonna be able to do the maximum bet with the same line? And why I'm highlighting with the same line? Because we also have something called per game limits. Per game limits means that the customer is gonna be able to bet up to whatever per game limit you have. So if you see the tab there, it says per game. That is actually the limit that he's going to be able to gamble on a particular game going back to the example of the Lakers, if you put Lakers for 1,000, max bet 1,000, he could go ahead and do 1,000 on the first half, 1,000 on the total, 1,000 on the quarters, 1,000 on the second half, and you get the point, right? Now, if you put a game limit or game per game, 5,000, or no, let's say 2,000. So he has a maximum bet of 1,000, but you want him not to bet like on everything for 1,000. On the Laker game. Remember, this is per game. So you could go ahead and put, let's say, 3,000. So he's gonna be able to log in and make Lakers, I don't know, whatever. I know the line -7 sounds crazy, but Lakers -7, for 1,000, and then he could go on the first half for 1,000, and then he could go on the total for 1,000. Right there, the system will stop him because he made 3 bets on the game for 1,000, and you have per game limit 3,000. So he's not going to be able to bet more than the limit per game. Okay. Now, once again, we also have detail limits, which it could go to everybody. This is just if you want to handle or control one particular guy. If you want everybody to have the same limit, you let us know. We create a profile, and that will be for everybody under your package. But this will be in case you want to control somebody in particular, like one particular player that goes crazy on a game. You don't want that to happen. You could go ahead and put per game limit. So pretty much, if you have any questions or doubts, give us a call, send us an email, make a comment on the video. So just let us know what do you think about the limit tab. And if you have any questions or doubts, keep in mind there's more videos coming out. You could also check the software A limit in case that you're looking for something that you're not seeing here. And you can always give us a call, like I said. We could go ahead and help you out, set up this software, the other one, whatever one works for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.